out on the sea, searching for something that really found me. I didn't know it, but it drew me to it. Soon I was full of its passion in me. I'm Italo Labignan. 40 years I've fished the world and have learned it's not just about catching the fish, the size of the fish, or the numbers. It's about appreciating every sunrise and sunset, the smell of the sea, savoring the culture and the fish with friends. Here's the catch. It's the total experience. Presented by Bear Reels, versatile, precision, handcrafted hybrid center pins. Seabreeze boats, tame the oceans. Raymarine Electronics. Raymarine, simply superior. It's another early start, and we're heading offshore aboard Thumper. The sun is just rising over the horizon, and we're slowly making our way through the inlets that lead to the open Gulf of Mexico. Plenty of double hooks are rigged and ready for action. Rods are secured. Tyler is looking for some live bait schools, and this is an excellent time to get to know each other. On this trip, I'm joining a private charter with Quentin Kittle, his daughter Grace, her boyfriend, his son Kristen, and their friend Mark Newman. We cover a bit of water. Tyler slows down and spots a baitfish school, and the sabiki rigs are lowered. And we are catching baitfish. I'm helping out as much as I can to get the baitfish off the hooks and get them into the live well fast. We want to catch these little guys as quickly as possible since we have a 3 to 4 hour run to our fishing grounds. We get a nice mix of pinfish, cigar minnows, and herring. This bait catching has become a team event, and everyone is chipping in to catch them and get them into the live well as soon as possible, including Captain Tyler. We have enough bait fish, and we make our run to our fishing grounds. We just drop our baits down, and Mark has a fish on right away. Everyone is pretty quiet, anticipating a bite. Captain Tyler is on the radio, giving some valuable info to another charter boat that's in the vicinity. Mark is doing a great job fighting his fish by putting his back muscles to work, pulling the rod back, and then reeling in as he bows the rod back down. Mark is just about to have his African Pompano gaffed, and Quentin gets one on. Now it's a little hectic. Fish are pulling drag, Mark's fish is gaffed and landed, and Quentin has his hands full. Mark holds his trophy up for a quick shot, and the fish is put on ice. Meanwhile, on the other side of the boat, Quentin is putting the boots to his fish, trying to get it up to the surface. Looks like it's going to be fast-paced and non-stop action. So we've moved to a different location. Location number 4 or 5. Go ahead, RJ, if you need to get bait. You need to get bait or anything? It's probably a small snapper. So we've landed a couple of lane snappers. They're in the basket right there. Perfect eating size. This probably feels like another one. So each spot has different fish just depending on the timing when you time it. Yep. Eating size lane. Want to grab them? I'll get another bait ready. You know, this is great. We're out here with a crew from Indiana, close to Ohio, and I haven't even got my line in. This is the first time I've had a drop because they've had these beautiful African pompanos on. So they're fighting 2 fish right now. What the fish are doing, they're hooking them, but they're fighting so hard and they're going up to where the anchor line is. So they've got to run up, literally go around the front of the boat, and then they end up fighting it on the other side. So this is pretty exciting, let me tell you. It was a bit of a run out here. I'm gonna say about an hour and a half, but it was well worth it. And you know what? Some of the people were napping because we've got these beautiful bean bags that are all piled up now at the front of the boat. Now it's like non-stop action.
Why make it easy?
Make it easy, yeah. You haven't used one of these before. If you don't move your hand away, this is what can happen. Look.
Break you.
That finger almost snapped off on a big thing. Yeah.
game I don't want to play.
No, no. Just ask Tyler. He's been through it. You got a lot of energy. You know, these fish are seasonal, so you got to take advantage of them when they're migrating through. And some of the ones that have been landed already that's in the cooler are really good size. You know, for people that haven't fished like this on a charter boat, you wonder why there's a 450 quart cooler in the boat. This is huge. It's because you get big fish. I don't know. It's not that big. It's not that big. Brother, that is a nice fish. You can hug a fish, right? On Always and Forever Charters, hug that fish.
Yep, head first, straight down.
You know, what a great way to meet people. You know, sometimes when there aren't a lot of people on one of Tyler's charters, he'll say, hey, you know, I've got a private booking. Why don't you come out? So this is what happened today. We've had lots of wind for like, I'm going to say a week. So this is nice that we can be out here and getting fish, meeting new people. The last people that I fished with were from Nebraska. So here's a Canadian getting to know all these Americans, which is great, and having fun while we're at it. Normally I put the reel on free spool, but right now I still got it on drag because I don't know what this fish is going to do as it gets closer. And you'll notice I've got a glove on. It's not because it's cold, it's probably about 80 degrees out. It's so I can slow the spool down when I go to free spool. So let me just get a look at it. Hopefully it's a African Pompano. Man, are these fish good to eat. The last time we enjoyed one, we didn't even cook it. We filleted it, cut it into strips in the boat, and then we had it fresh, just with a little bit of wasabi and soya. It was amazing. Careful, don't fall in. Perfect.
Hook out here.
Yep.
Get his line out of his lips here.
Man, you're so professional.
All right, look how lit up he is. You got him?
Beautiful, yep, got him. Got him. There we go. You don't have to hold them out, but you know what? For you, Tyler, I'm gonna hold them out a little bit. They're so gorgeous. Beautiful fish. Would you like to see another angle, Tyler? Yeah, look at that sheen. Perfect. You know what? We're gonna be releasing this guy, so he's gonna go for a flying jump and hopefully go right down. You know, while we're getting these snapper on the bottom in this spot, almost each spot that we've stopped at, got off. We've been running one live bait line, so that's what this is right here. Because a lot of times when you get some of the bottom fish riled up, you can get fish like tuna or even some nice king mackerel come in because they're curious. So we've got one live bait swimming around on the surface, and then the rest of us are you fishing right on the bottom.
Got him? There he is.
Good one.
And that's the third grouper.
Mark, what's up?
Mark fights his amberjack out. I call Captain Tyler over because I think he's going to reach down and grab the fish like he did with the African Pompano. But he just grabs the line and heaves it up. Wait a minute, I could have done that. A quick picture or two and the fish is torpedoed back to the ocean.
Did they tell you it was going to be this much work? No, can you believe the guys?
Oh, no.
It's okay. You just have to lift up and then reel on the way down. Right now he's running, so there's not much you can do. Okay, lift up, and reel down. I know it's hard. Go, 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 go. You can do it. Here, I'll lift up and reel down. I'll give you a hand. Down more. Reel, 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 reel. And hold on. And reel. As you go down. You let me lift up. Reel, reel, reel. Okay, good. You know, this is a multi-team event. You know, you got to help the girls. I mean, sometimes you got to help me. So there he goes. He's going around the front. He's going underneath the anchor rope without dropping the rod, because that's a penalty point. He's going to, and falling in, that's a penalty point, because then we got to scoop him out. Okay, here you go.
Pretty settled in, everybody.
Okay, if you put this hand up further, yeah, you'll have more leverage. Here, I'm going to get over here. Okay, I'm going to help you. It's okay if I help you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go up and reel. Keep reeling. And up. If you want to, perfect. You're using the side, yep. You let me know if you're okay on your own to do that, or whether you want to keep, I should keep helping you. Whatever you do, don't let go of the rod, okay?
Right.
That's kind of important. And yes, you're going to have experience marks after this trip. You're going to see bruising on your thighs and stuff.
Yeah.
Just so you know,
I figured.
can't help it.
Grace did a great job fighting her big African pompano, but it still ran and wrapped itself around the anchor rope off the bow of the boat. Time for the three amigos to jump into action. RJ gets up first, followed by Captain Tyler, and then the old guy. I control the rod and keep the line tight. RJ and Tyler work the anchor and try to get to where the line is wrapped around the anchor. This is no easy job. The anchor line is tight, the fish wrap the line down below the surface. Tyler tries to manually pull the line up, but Thumper is big and heavy. We get to the fishing line and the fish breaks off. Now to give Grace the bad news.
Grace, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yep. It went around the anchor rope. I don't know how it happened. You did everything right. It's not your fault, okay? Just shrug it off. We're gonna get some more, okay? Good, okay.
This hectic fishing brings back memories of Tyler and I drifting over baitfish school, hitting double-header fish, and Tyler almost flying out of the boat when I had to go forward so his bonito didn't spool him.
Yeah, he spooled me all the way to the knot.
Closed captioning brought to you by Leguano, natural barefoot technology for every adventure. It's been a great offshore adventure with chaos, triple headers, big fish. We even got our butts kicked by fish breaking us off. We say goodbye to our charter boat neighbors, and it's time to head in, clean the African pompano, and enjoy delicious fish and smoked brisket treat. Captain Tyler DeGraff has cleaned his share of African pompano, and he starts by using the tip of the knife to gently follow the lateral line down to the tail, using the vertebrae to stop the tip so it doesn't go through the other side. The tail end is muscular, and Tyler makes a quick perpendicular cut where the body meets the tail. Next, Tyler inserts the tip of the knife just behind the gill plate and makes a cut from the lateral line to the top of the back, just behind the head. He changes the direction of the knife to point back towards the tail and starts separating the fillet from the spine. He tries to keep the knife tip scraping against the vertebrae to make sure as much of the flesh remains on the fillet. He continues to make this cut past the dorsal fin all the way to the base of the tail. Sliding a finger at the back under the first cut that he's made, Tyler starts cutting downwards towards the rib cage. He uses the same stroke all the way down to the base of the tail and starts working the knife towards the belly. He separates the last strands from holding onto the vertebrae so that the boneless quarter fish can be removed. Next, Tyler makes a cut on the bottom 1/8 of the fillet, just after the rib cage. He inserts the knife again down the vertebrae and starts separating the bottom section. He carefully makes strokes right along the spine to make sure he gets most of the meat off. The last cut is to remove the bottom section of the fillet. African pompano are a flat configuration with most of the meat in the upper part of the body and the quarter at the back of the tail. Tyler flips the fish over and again makes the first cut with the knife pointing down along the lateral line. He stops at the base of the tail, turns the fish around and starts carving from the lateral line to around the head and then down the back. He tries to work the knife tip right along the spine all the way to the tail cut. He uses smooth strokes of the knife to separate the top part of the fillet from the spine all the way to the tail. The last cuts are to separate the top section of the fillet where it meets the lateral line. He inserts the knife just behind the rib cage and makes long, smooth strokes to separate the bottom section of the fillet from the body, and the boneless fillets are ready to have the skin removed. African pompano have paper-thin skin, so the angle of the knife is very important when you're removing the skin from the fillet. Tyler uses his left hand to pin the skin to the cleaning table while carefully working the knife back and forth as he goes down the fillet, and also moves his left hand closer and closer to where the knife is cutting, making sure that the skin can't curl and get left on the fillet. He repeats the same process for the rest of the fillets. Tonight we're celebrating by enjoying fresh African pompano with amazing smoked beef brisket. Our location is a family-owned and operated business where everything is made on site and all the desserts and sauces are a family recipe. Quaint, great food, and good company. This is my kind of eating place. And as a bonus, they're letting us prepare our fish and enjoy it with our meal. Remember Tyler cleaning the African pompano? Well, here are some of the choice boneless, skinless chunks, which Tyler is carefully slicing using a cleaver. Pompano has a firm flesh which can be cooked, but we're going to enjoy it raw. Fresh African pompano is perfect for sashimi or as sushi. The best cut of the fillet is the loin, and that's what we're going to enjoy. Tyler is doing such a good job making each slice the same thickness. I think he's done it before. The slices are skillfully placed on wax paper to easily pick them up. No fancy plates or cutlery. Kind of reminds me of eating at home. So this is amazing. You know, we're not eating on a boat. We're actually at the Texas Best Barbecue. And we're mixing it up. We're gonna have fresh fish that we caught today, but also brisket and all these beautiful dishes that we've got here. I've got pimento beans that I'm going to be dipping my cornbread in. But I want to tell you a little bit about the African pompano. So this is it here. Look at how white that meat is. It's almost see-through. It almost looks like a piece of pickled cabbage or something. So Tyler's cut it really thin. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the first taste test, okay?
Of course.
I'm going to put it just in a little bit of the hot sauce. You gotta try it.
Good?
Yeah. So this is fresh fish. It's
I'm gonna go with
amazing.
the soy here.
So look, when did you start getting on the African pompano? I'm not talking about this trip, but literally in your long career.
In my long career, I caught my first African pompano when I was probably 12 or 13 years old.
Did you know that you could have it like this raw? Or did you just cook it up?
Not at that point, no. No, we threw it in a pan and cooked it, but I think this is the best way to do it right here.
I'm not even using pork. I'm just dipping it. Try it in the soya.
It's good.
So,
A little barbecue, a little soy.
so what he's done, he's taken actually the loin part of the fish. So I was watching him fillet it for the people that were on the charter with us, and he was taking some of the choicest meat that wasn't too muscular. Because when you get down near the tail, the meat gets a little bit more muscular, what's called the caudal peduncle. So he actually used the loin, which is this part up here, kind of like tenderloin, you know, with beef or even pork tenderloin. That's why it's so tender. You said the last time it was chewy. I don't think this is chewy at all.
I think the slices were a little bit thicker than this. I think this, the thin slices, I think that's the way to go.
So with the pompano, they're only here for a short period of time, right?
They're always around, but we could specifically target them for only about 2 to 3 weeks out of the year.
And then they scatter,
And they scatter. They move out deeper. They move out with that cooler water.
and they're pelagic. So
Yes,
they're not
they
on
are.
bottom, they're not on the surface, they're in the middle.
And they're highly migratory. They move in all the time.
I think they're great fighters. I don't think they fight as hard as like a big jack, you know. But initially they fight hard, and then they slow down. What I like is that they go horizontal.
You know, you don't just
Yes.
fight them straight up and down.
And they're in the same family as permit. They fight just like a big permit.
That's why they taste so good.
Yes.
I'm gonna try the barbecue sauce in the middle. You know, there's a few slices here. And then we've got the beef. We gotta talk about this beef.
Yes.
Now, when did you discover this place?
I discovered this place about a year ago, and now we eat here 4 or 5 times a week after work. Me and RJ
I can
come
see
here.
why.
And
Well, the owner took me out back and showed me the different barbecue things that they have. There's
Okay.
2 of them back there. And all the meat, they had chicken, they had pork, they had pork shoulder, and they had the big briskets here. So I think a lot of their business is takeout. So this is what you do after a full days of fishing. So today was a 10-hour trip. Tomorrow you've got an 8-hour trip with customers. Man, is that tender. You know what? It's delicious.
awesome,
No.
right?
It's done really well. Wow. Yeah, I'm not even cutting it. I'm just tearing it. It's so tender. He said he cooks it at 220 for 13 hours.
Wow.
This isn't cooked as long.
Definitely not.
That's raw, actually, and it's good. What a great combination to have beef
I think it's
versus with
it's
fish.
definitely the best barbecue I've ever had, and it's probably some of the best barbecue here in Florida. So if you're
And right here in Inglewood.
right here in
Amazing.
Inglewood, really close to the charter boat,
Yep.
after a nice long day of a charter, delicious barbecue, I think that's the way to go.
You know what? I'm not a fancy guy, you know, artsy fartsy. This is great. Just like this, eat, cut. We don't even need like plates and stuff, you know?
Exactly.
We're fishermen, right? For Pete's sake.
Yes.
Anyway, Tyler, I don't know if we'll get out again or have to go back to Canada. This is amazing. Thank you very much for introducing me to the Texas Best Barbecue. It's awesome. We're going to be back and bring our friends.
Hey, that sounds great. Till next year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
One day I wandered out on the sea, searching for something that really found me. I didn't know it, but it drew me to it. Soon I was full of its passion in me. I'm Italo Labignan. 40 years I've fished the world and have learned it's not just about catching the fish, the size of the fish, or the numbers. It's about appreciating every sunrise and sunset, the smell of the sea, savoring the culture and the fish with friends. Here's the catch. It's the total experience. Presented by Bear Reels, versatile, precision, handcrafted hybrid center pins. Seabreeze Boats, tame the oceans. Raymarine Electronics. Raymarine, simply superior.